Welcome to my YouTube page. My name's Kinja Dixon, the Re-Creation Strategist. And first things first, I just want you to know I've made so many mistakes over these 4 decades of my life. And since 2014, when I started this new journey, my entire purpose has been to share ways so that you can dissect my life, to take the lessons that I've learned to help enhance yours. So briefly, I'm going to give you my history, and then you can gauge whether some of my mistakes are worthy of lessons in your life. And I'm going to be brief. I have a long run coming up. I'm going into my 3rd marathon. It's ending 2018. And when you hear my history, you'll be as surprised as I am that I've already completed 2 full 26.2 marathons, 26.2 mile marathons. So in 2009, I got up to 305 pounds, 35% body fat, functional alcoholic. I had the best intentions, but I was at a space where my main priority was performing to get as much monetary compensation as I could, and anything that had to do with internal development was not on the same priority level. I don't know if you can identify with that. And I made some lifestyle choices that catapulted and turned into some ripple effects that changed the entire direction of my life. So in 2013, after a 14-year career in sales, management, and training, I ended up doing something in the sales profession that was never done before, and had no idea that that year would be the last year that I would be working ever in my life. So come with me on this journey and I'll show you what that was. So in 2014, was the first year of my new life, because the Stevie Award Foundation, in February of 2013, I was given the Gold Stevie for Sales Representative of the Year, and the Artie 2013 Award for Top Salesperson In-House. Now, I'm only showing these 2 awards because they are the primary reason why my life changed. Bear with me on the impromptu setup and everything. So to give you a brief history, because you probably don't know what the Stevie Awards are or the American Resort Development Awards. Stevie Awards, they contribute growth and recognize organizations and working professionals worldwide. Companies other than Wyndham Worldwide, the company I retired from, and DHL, American Airlines, Delta, Marriott, these are also huge organizations that nominate some of their working professionals, and the Stevie Award, based off the criteria, gives them gold, silver, or bronze awards. American Resort Development Association, they promote growth in luxury real estate. So winning both of those awards in the same year, I found out, was never done in the history of the sales profession. And the way I felt internally was like, this is the top, and I just felt that there was more for me to contribute. I just remember the day in the Artie Award Foundation Awards in April 2013, where I just felt, wow, there's more in my life. If this is the top, what else is next? I had no idea. 5 days later, back in Virginia, driving in Virginia Beach, I had the idea of writing a book. Never wrote a book before, but I said, man, I want to share how a person that was born in Brooklyn, who shared the living room was my room. In my mother's 1-bedroom apartment in Brooklyn, I came from a space where I did not have an abundant amount of luxury. I am so grateful for everything, but to go from there to being in a position where coming in the top of a $1 trillion sales situation, I want to share so people can gain from what I went through from one end of the spectrum to another. And what took place, this is where things get a little funny. I started writing a book, and as I started looking at and envisioning what was to come and getting hired to speak, I started having more of a love for teaching than selling. So I had to make a decision, because my W-2s were a plus every year. So I had to make a choice. I'm not going to go into the history of my financial makeup, but when I was 24, I went through a company downsize, and I was honored to get the opportunity to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. And when I read that book and found out that the way I thought about financial mastery, which was null and void at the point, was completely opposite than the way wealth management comes, and those were just some basics, I did something that ended up changing the way I felt about income. There's a rule of thumb that says you take 10% of your income and put it away. Since I was 24 and started with Wyndham Worldwide, I started taking 90% and putting it away and living off of 10%. So while other people in my field were buying all these luxurious things, I was in the same home. I was driving my same beat up old truck, and it got to a space where one day my accounts just started growing, and that kind of hurt me because I remember when I got to a certain amount, I started drinking, and that's what led to the 300-pound guy that I showed you in the kitchen. So by the time this decision of stepping away from Wyndham came into play, it was because I already knew that based off of my comfort of being able to live and do whatever I wanted and having a projection of living to about 120, as long as I was able to have my 8 to 10K a month every single month, I would be okay, and everything else will continue to grow. So I did not jump into this world with the intentions of having to sell a book to pay bills. So my aggressive nature that I had back in sales kind of became dormant in this personal development world because I love writing and creating and sharing more than trying to chase a dollar. So that is why I'm probably not the person if you want to mimic how to make money off of social media, because honestly, that is not why I jumped into this world. You with me? So as I get ready to end, there's two other points I want to make. My life has given me a lot of awards, but nothing can amount to what I'm about to show you that I've received over these last 5 years. Out of all of the organizations and companies that I've spoken to, nothing can come higher on my totem pole than what I've received from these kids' schools that I've spoken to. Dear Mr. Dixon, thank you very much for taking the time to speak to us today. Your words are encouraging and motivating. Thank you for being an amazing role model. Miss Walk's 4th grade class. Yeah, I make it my business to talk to at least 20 to 30 schools every single year for the love. Mr. Dixon, thank you for all your encouraging words at our assembly today. You are a great role model to us. Love, Miss Marsh's class. See, this is my award now. It's a whole nother world. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, with their little signatures. This little card right here. Thank you, Mr. Dixon, for making time to come to our school. We liked your speech. Oh my goodness. And this is one of my favorites. They drew me right here and with their little self. So y'all, this is how I get paid. You know, the emotional love of knowing that I'm able to help a future generation, and by simply being the best version of myself I can be. So as I end this, do not support me. And what I mean by that, let me explain. Whenever you do an action, it's going to be based off of two base fundamental emotions. Emotions based off of growth, or emotions based off of fear. So if you support me, so you buy one of my tools, Universal Talk Laws. This is the book that I wrote, that I started 5 days after the second award. Changed a lot of people's lives. It was my first book. Dixon On Demand, online training program. I teamed up with Lightspeed VT, virtual training course. Unbelievable. It took a year for me to create the curriculum for this. And my most recent tool for your development is Re-Creationism, the art of shaping reality. This goes deeply into the 4 pillars that I have lived and make my priority every single day. So if you want to be recreated and go with plant life, this is a tool you want to add to your arsenal. But it also has 21 of my most transformative clients' lives in there as well. But if you get one of these tools, or any tool, because I've spent over $250,000 in my life on tools from different masters that I've loved to learn from, and I wouldn't change anything. But if you don't grow from those tools and you just get emotionally high off of the presentation or the YouTube situation and buy it, but then put it in the closet and don't do everything you can do to grow from it, you then create what I call a contradicted connection, because you're moving in two different spaces. And I know you've heard of it, or you might even have been a victim of it, where you buy this program, but you do not take everything from it. And you end up in a position where you have a closet full of all of this personal development arsenal toolery that does not get a chance to prosper in your life. So don't support me. I'm good. I've set myself up where none of this has to do anything, and I'm going to continue to grow on all aspects of my 4 pillars and share with everybody who's willing to listen. Only support it if it's going to be a full alignment and growth process. All right. So with that being said, go on Re-Creationism.com and find out what your HLG is. It's just a 40 question process. And all I ask you to do is become a better version of yourself every single day for the rest of your life. Not get more things, more degrees, more houses, more cars, more followers. No. Become a better version of yourself. And the 4 pillars: health, emotional intelligence, hunger to gain new knowledge, and get better at whatever you do for a living every single day. You work on those 4 things and you are going to manifest different levels of yourself, and the people that you attract, the opportunities that you attract, the way you think, the way you perceive, the way you respond is all going to transform as you recreate your entire surrounding. Kinja Dixon signing off. Welcome to my world. Namaste. I love you and I'm connected to you whether we ever see each other again.